In a quiet village nestled at the edge of a vast forest, there lived a blacksmith named the Rune. The Rune was known throughout the village for his exceptional skill in crafting tools and weapons. His forge was always glowing, and the rhythmic sound of his hammer striking metal was a familiar melody to all who lived nearby. One day, a traveler arrived in the village seeking out the Rune. The traveler was a wise old man, dressed in simple robes, carrying nothing but a walking stick. He approached the Rune and asked, "I have heard of your great skill, but I have a question for you. What is the most important tool a blacksmith can forge?" The Rune, proud of his craft, responded confidently, "The sword. Of course, it is a symbol of strength and protection. With a well-forged sword, a person can defend themselves and others." The old man smiled, but said nothing. He merely nodded and left the village, leaving the Rune puzzled by the encounter. The next day the traveler returned and asked the Rune the same question. This time, the Rune thought more carefully before answering. "Perhaps it is the plough," he said. "With a plough a farmer can till the land and provide food for his family and community. It sustains life again." The old man smiled, nodded, and left without a word. On the third day, the traveler came once more and posed the same question. The Rune, now deeply intrigued, spent the entire night pondering. By dawn he realized that the answer was not as simple as he first thought. When the old man appeared, the Rune said, "I do not know what the most important tool is. Each one serves a different purpose, and each is vital in its own way." The old man's eyes twinkled with approval. "You are correct," he said. "But there is one tool that every blacksmith, and indeed every person, must forge carefully: the mind." The Rune looked at the old man with curiosity. "The mind?" he asked. "Yes," the traveler explained. "Just as you shape metal with fire and hammer, you must shape your mind with experience and wisdom. A well-forged mind is your greatest tool. It helps you discern when to use a sword and when to use a plough. It guides your hand, your decisions and your actions. Without a sharp mind, even the finest sword or plough is useless." The blacksmith understood the lesson. From that day on, he not only continued to forge metal with skill, but he also began to cultivate his mind. He read, learned from others, and reflected on his experiences. He became not only a master of his craft, but also a wise man who offered guidance to those who sought it. The village prospered under the Rune's influence, for he taught others to value not just their tools, but also the wisdom to use them well. And the traveler, who was indeed a sage in disguise, left, knowing that he had planted the seed of true wisdom in the heart of a humble blacksmith. The lesson spread far and wide, reminding people that while tools are important, it is the mind that shapes our destiny.